Hey guys, my name is Robert Tugman, and this is my audition tape for Redken/Alta for a store 425, and this is my model Lexus. We're going to be doing her hair today, and I just wanted to talk to you for a few minutes before we actually do a cut, sort of get some ideas of what's been bothering you about your hair.
What I'm really looking for is I would like some of this weight gone. I would like something a little bit more fun. I just feel like I'm too small to be having this much hair. So anything that you could do to really lighten up my look and just make it a little bit more fun looking.
Absolutely. So it's okay if we can take a little bit of length off to sort of shorten it up so that it doesn't drag you down. Maybe give some soft bangs or some interior layering just to sort of soften it up and give it some movement and shape.
It sounds really good.
Awesome. Well, let's take you back to the wash house and we'll get you prepped for your haircut.
Sounds good.
Okay. Alright, now we're back from getting her prepped from her great shampoo. And we're going to do a little bit of cutting. In our consultation, we established that we were going to be removing some bulk and some length to sort of hollow out the haircut and then shorten up the length to establish a more appropriate length line for her. And let's see, it's this side, right? Yep. Alright, so we're going to section her out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the flat plane of the head and establish a length line. We're going to be doing a soft interior movement throughout the haircut. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of razoring, and then in the finish I'm going to be doing a little bit of dry cutting so that we get a nice soft shattered interior along with a soft shattered perimeter. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to section out, and then I'll get right back to you. I'm going to start from her natural part, and then we're going to do a four-way part from there. And I like to work in straight perimeters around the head. So we're just going to draw a straight line, put it at the nape area, section away. We're going to work in the flat plane, or to the 45-degree mark of the head. 45-degree mark is found at the back corner of the head. This is 90, this would be 45. It connects the side with the back, back with the side. I feel like with cutting there should be a common language, so you'll probably hear me use some terms, and I'll go over some of those terms as we progress through this haircut. So establish our length there. Alright, we're going to move into this back corner here. Finish establishing our length line. Just working little tiny C's. Take off that length. Again, working in radial partings around the head, seen from back view, all the way around. Again, we're going to work on the back plane of the head, which is the back flat spot of the head. Dropping down our next section, you can see our guide from the last section. I'm going to come in here and just remove a little bit of this weight, create a nice soft shattered perimeter line. That hair is too bulky. I work in pretty big sections because I'm really comfortable with this. If that hair gets too much and you can't see your line, you can just, like I said, move that hair, push that hair out of the way. Okay, we're going to move in the plane, and I like to move the chair, and I like to stand right in front of the section that I'm working on. And so it took me a long time to figure out that these chairs actually move instead of me running around the customer the whole day. So I'm going to make the chair do the work for me, carrying my guide found at the 45, the back corner of the head again, and we're going to work in a straight 90-degree angle from the plane in which I'm working on, or the area, and just remove that length off. Again, moving the chair to the back corner of the head, working in this plane. We're going to remove this length here. Again, working in radial lines around the head. Move her, working in the flat plane. Your body language is key. Get your straight foot forward, you're facing your section, you're going to get a nice straight line. Measure where my guide is, I know. Again, I'm working with quite a big section, so I'm going to move this hair out of the way. Boom, there we go. We'll work into the next section. Make sure your partings are clean. Standing in front of my section to the flat plane. And the hair gets a little bit more on the dense side around the hairline. So my section, my little C's will be not as deep or as large. They'll be smaller because the hair is a little on the denser side there. So again, we're going to work around to this particular flat plane of the head. There's my guide. My section's at the back 45-degree mark of the head. I'm going back to a deeper C. Move the hair out of the way. Finish establishing my length. Little shorter strokes. Because remember, the hair is denser around the hairline. Alright, we're going to work around the head. Continue to work in circles. We're going to work in this front panel here. Elevation is key. If I wanted to lift it up, it's going to be a softer edge, and I want to keep it at a lower elevation, keep it a little bit more solid. A lot of times I like to keep the length in the front. I can always take it off later. Okay, we're going to drop down our last section, and then we'll move into the interior. Again, working in the flat plane of the head as we work around. Alright, we've established our length line. We're going to work in the perimeter. I'm going to work at the high point of the head to the ridge. And the way that's found is when we take our shear or two combs and we meet. And this will be the ridge or the high point of the head. This will also fall on the side, seen from front view. It'll be around here. So we're going to work in this ridge all the way around here. And I'm going to section that out of the way. This is what we're going to be focusing on. And so we don't work with too much hair at once until you get real comfortable with this. I'm just going to work in this particular section. So here's my hair here. Section that out of the way. And I want to see where I want my interior movement to start. Midway down. And we're going to establish our length. Come in and take long C shapings because I want a nice soft shattered interior. Remove a little excess there. Okay. We're going to move on into our next section. We're just going to match up right up to it. Remove any extra. And one thing I see people doing is chipping away at it. I think for this particular look, like the soft C sections, it does a nice soft shattered line. Okay, this is the last section. I'm going to work in straight lines from the part seen from top view. Look up, there we go. And then what I like to do, there's my guide from the interior. Come in here and just remove the weight. Shorter going to longer. There we go. Now I've completed my right side. I'm going to be moving into my left side. So I'm going to take a guide from my previous side And I like to work facing my section, so I'm going to turn my model around. Find where my guide is. There we go. Straight lines. And there's my guide. Shorter to longer. Alright, now we've completed the top. I'm going to section her in her natural fall position, or her natural part. And we're going to connect the dots, so to say. Seen from back view, I'm going to take my guide, holding my elevation seen from side view at a 90 degrees, and I'm going to scoop out the interior in this midsection. So there's where my guide ends, and here's where I'll pick it up. You'll notice that I'm taking little sections to scoop it out, create a nice soft interior to match. Now we're pulling the hair out 90 degrees from which it grows. Seen from top view, it's pulled straight out from the head. Again, seen from top view, straight out from the head. Okay, I got to from the top of the head to the back of the ear, and I'm going to stop there and complete working through here. Again, pulling the hair out straight from where it grows or lives. Again, standing straight in front of the section I'm going to be cutting, so I can see exactly how I'm elevating and over directing the hair, which I am not over directing. I'm pulling straight out from the head from which it grows. Now, if we wanted to over direct it, we could over direct it backwards, either to a stationary position, or we could move around the head over directing it. It would preserve length in the front. If we wanted to take away length from the front, we could over direct it towards the front and cut it. But I'm going to keep even graduation around the head for right now. This should be nothing here because it's right there at the top of the ear. Alright, at this point I have finished her haircut with an exception of the fringe. We're going to blow dry her hair, and then I'm going to do the finishing touches around the front of this haircut with a different tool to get a really nice soft perimeter. So I'm going to blow dry right now. Alright, in my blow dry, this is usually when I talk to my customers about what kind of products they need to use in their hair and things of that nature, what kind of tools to use. With this particular haircut, it's so versatile because it releases so much curl for the interior if she wants to be lazy and have those nice lazy days and accentuate her natural curl. But on days when she wants to be professional, if she's going to work or whatever she's going to do, go out for a nice dinner, she can blow dry out smooth and sleek. So this haircut's very versatile, but what's really important about the blow dry that I feel like is that you get to watch the hair and you get to see how the hair responds to the haircut that you've delivered, so that I can do my finishing touch on it, or that I can, so to say, maybe put the icing on the cake. So the hair's telling me where I need to work, and I left the bangs or the fringe long so that I could go in there, see how it responded, and then remove the weight that I wanted to remove. So that's what I'm going to do now. And I'm going to use a shear just for this particular job. I'm going to come in here, and I really like where it's fallen, but I'm going to shorten her up just a pinch right around her cheekbone. So we're going to come in here and just sort of back comb or just etch in a really nice soft perimeter line around the face. I'm going to elevate the hair just a little bit so it creates a little bit of a softer fringe to this front. And that just really edges it off. Coming it down in its natural fall position. We're just going to talk the shear through. There we go. Nice movement here. Alright, I'm going to work through the front here. Actually, let's see how I can turn this so I don't block how I do this. I'm going to lift the hair up. There's this nice cowlick there. And I'm going to start this right around the tip of her nose. So I'm going to lift it up and actually come in behind my hand and move the hair backwards so I'm over directing as I cut. And it just leaves a really nice soft perimeter. Nice. Okay, come out here and draw a line right to the corner of the eyebrow. Comb the hair in its natural fall position where it lives, and I can see where the weight needs to be taken out through the side. So we're going to come in here and just do so. Again, just talking the shear right through it. And when I say talking the shear, I'm just talking about moving it ever so slightly so the hair is actually in the shear and it closes halfway, so it diffuses it as it moves down the hair shaft. Okay, I see that she's a little bit heavy right here. Again, looking at the hair, reading it, see that it's heavy right through here. So I'm going to come in through here. And remember, I did short to long, so when the hair falls, it leaves it long here. I leave that longer so that I can take it off later as I see the hair dry, so I can see how it responds. I'm going to come in here and just talk the shear right through it. I'm going to marry this little corner right through here. Okay, I'm going to check this side, and it looks pretty good, but just want to check this corner here. I'm going to lift it straight out from where it grows. Just take that corner off right there. Alright, now I'm going to check everything in circles just to see if I have any corners. So we're going to work through here, come out. Very few scragglers, but I feel like this is the polishing, the icing on the cake. This is what sets you apart from most hairdressers. It's just coming back and just double checking any long hairs. We're not really cutting into the length line. We just want to make sure that we don't have any scragglers through there. Looking at the hair, watching it move. Alright, here is my finished haircut. Hey guys, just to recap my haircut today, I established a length line, a nice soft interior movement with a razor, cutting the hair on its perimeter at a 90. Then we came in through the interior, taking it off at a 90, then pulling it out at a 90 and removing the interior straight off. Created a nice soft perimeter around the face with a shear, just sort of talking the shear through the hair. And I wanted to say thanks again for the opportunity to do this model for Redken and Ulta. This is my model Alexis. Thanks.